Welcome to this video. We're continuing talking about absolute value, but there's some points I want to bring up that you'll either just need to be able to figure out as you go along. There's little indications we can do, or ways to read things to where we don't have to memorize something, or we can memorize some facts here. And that is, it matters where that negative sign is. Okay, so here, on this example, the negative sign was inside the absolute value symbol. That matters. If the negative sign would have been outside, let's say like this, of our absolute value symbol, we would have gotten a different answer. That's because we would look at this as two separate parts. There would be the absolute value part, and then as well, there would be the sign part or value, positive or negative value part. So first, we would solve the absolute value part. Well, the absolute value of 3, if we had 3 over here, undo that, do this. If we had 3 over here in our number line and we start at 0, then we go to 3, then we count how far they are, 1, 2, 3. Then the absolute value of 3 is 3. Notice how the absolute value of 3 and the absolute value of negative 3 have the same value. That's because we really, positive and negatives tell us direction. They don't tell us a value. The value is the number itself. So we know, oops, and I actually wrote that a little bit wrong. Let me go ahead and do that here. I'm going to put the 3 down here because that 3 is indicating it's the answer to the absolute value of 3, but I haven't done anything with that negative. So it would just carry down. So really, what we have, I don't want to use that color. That's going to be a little harsh. Yeah, we'll just stick with this one. What we have up here is the absolute value of negative 3. And what we had down here was the opposite of absolute value of 3. Well, if the absolute value of 3 is 3, the opposite of 3 would be negative 3. In other words, instead of going forward or to the right, those are both positive statements, the opposite of forward would be backwards and the opposite of right would be left. So we'd be doing a negative movement. So really what we have here is a direction, negative, and a value, 3. So that tells us to move backwards 3 times. Whether that backwards is to the left or whatever it is, it's still backwards. So where the negative matters, where the negative is matters. If it's inside the absolute value, it's telling us to start at 0 and go left or right on the number line. If the negative is outside, it's telling us to find the opposite of whatever is inside the absolute value symbol. So we have to be very careful and be very specific, which is one of the reasons we learn math, is we learn how to slow down, look and think about how or what the details are doing so we can move with and through them and use them to come to a conclusion. So remember, math is about slowing down, reading, thinking to understand how it applies. And that's how we're going to focus here.